Welcome back to Against My Better Judgment, the podcast where two friends,
I'm Tamara Golden.
and I'm Dannelle Whiteside, tell the truth, share the lessons, and laugh about the moments that we knew better but did it anyway. Every week we share real stories about the time that life surprised us, stretched us, or straight up humbled us, and what we learned along the way.
And this season, we're calling it That Time When. But before we jump into it, how was your week, Dannelle?
It's been a good week. Donovan lost tooth number 5.
Oh my god! So what happens at your house when people?
Girl, the tooth fairy is broke over here. Let me tell you, because I had to go on social media when he lost his first tooth when it was about to happen.
You
and I
had
was
to?
like, well, because I wanted to know what everybody else was giving. Like, what is the going rate for a tooth these days? And it was varied from like $5 to $20. $20. So the first tooth, the tooth fairy gave $20 and a certificate that a friend of mine sent me. And so he was very excited about that. It was like, make sure you take care of your new teeth, that kind of thing.
That's what the certificate said?
It was like, congratulations from the tooth fairy.
Okay, I thought he got $20 and then like a certificate to Chucky. Like, I'm like, that's just too much for a tooth.
No, but then every time after that is whatever the tooth fairy has in his or her wallet. So this
What if you have $100?
No, he's not getting $100.
Oh, okay.
But like this time he got $5. One time the tooth fairy forgot and put a note under the pillow like, sorry. And then another time the tooth fairy had to go in Donovan's
Oh my
piggy bank
gosh.
and had to pay it back.
You know this is
what we're not
recorded,
gonna
right?
do.
What we're not gonna do is steal from these kids and say it.
The tooth fairy put it back. Wow. Because you
should have did that. The tooth fairy should have did that when they wrote that note.
Listen, it's hard sometimes because like you never know when the tooth is gonna come out, and depending on what time of day it is, you may not have time to go run and get $10 and then you got to break change because it's a lot.
See, I'm gonna have to tell these kids that tooth fairy, you get it when you get it. When the tooth fairies have a lot of teeth to deal with. You might get yours next week, but it's gonna be a surprise. So keep checking on, take your butt to sleep and check under that pillow when you wake up.
What's funny is when the time that the tooth fairy forgot, we were like, oh, it's because you forgot to write a note. So you got to write a note to the tooth fairy. And so then now he's like, before bed last night, he was like, Mom, don't forget to leave the tooth fairy a note. So I didn't forget last night. And
I thought he had to write the note.
Well, he can't, he writes his name, but he can't write like, I still have to write for him. So we wrote the note and the tooth fairy gave him $5. And this morning he was so excited. So, we on the spectrum here because a few weeks ago, Ronan is just getting teeth, and so we got all the things happening in our house.
Oh wow, no, that's a lot.
How was your week?
Great week. I spent some time with, as you know, one of our dear friends from California is in town, so I spent some time with her and her family and her girls, and their cousins. So, kids are just funny, like especially when you have. And I hate to label kids at this age, but when you have kids that are just more quiet, independent, and then you have ones that are very vocal and the youngest one, as you know, is a very vocal.
She is.
After you say hello and tell her your name, the rest of the evening is hers. And so she'll almost take over. She'll almost talk for the oldest. And then you have the cousin that's in the middle is so self-sufficient, right? I mean,
she's older.
Yeah, she's 3. She's like 8. I want to say she's 8, and so she was making like what do you call them? I think like emojis or whatever those things are of everybody, and so that was kind of neat. So had a good time hanging out with them, getting to know them a little better, and realizing that I did not know that you needed to have like Cottonelle wipes in your bathroom.
Oh.
I had no idea.
How did you figure this out?
Well, one of them had to go to the bathroom, and the mom came out and said, like, she's kind of Southern Californian, like the accent. I don't know what her accent is, so I can't even. It's very off, but I can't even impersonate it. But she's like, where are those Cottonelle wipes? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, the wipes, the wet wipes. I was like, I felt dirty. She's like, you don't use them? I was like, I have some. I can help you. So I knew I had them. It's one of those things like, you have them, but I don't use them. So, and lo and behold, I came through. I was like Superwoman.
That's good, because let me tell you something. Well, we carry wipes with us because, when you have kids, you just have to carry wipes. But I used to buy Cottonelle wipes, but I don't anymore because my mom convinced my husband after I had my last child to install a bidet. And when I tell you, game changer, get you a bidet. You don't need the Cottonelle wipes after that. Because you feel clean all the time.
Well, you can either get you a bidet or you can get you a baby. And so that leads us right into our main topic today. That time when Dannelle had a surprise baby.
Yes, y'all. Okay. So...
I just have a problem with the word surprise and baby, like, unless it's like a baby surprise, but it's really hard to have a surprise baby. But carry on.
Well, here's the thing. We had our 2 and we thought we were done. And I say that because my husband and I had started to have the conversation around, getting a vasectomy and that sort of thing. Because my thing is this. I put my body on the line twice now, so I need you to have
on the line.
A stake in the reproductive life of this house, which means, so you go and do what you need to do. So we had kind of, there was a little negotiation here and there because, men are sensitive about those sorts of things. And I think he had talked to enough of his friends who had also had it that he was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So we were like, all right, get you a vasectomy. Ciao. Too late. So
no, you definitely getting one now.
Yeah, well, yes. So here's what happened. The top of January, every year.
What's the top of January?
January 1st of 2024. Every January I do a manifesting challenge. So I every day there is her name is Gabby. She's a spiritual coach, whatever. She gives you for 21 days like little prompts, and you do journaling, and it's no secret that I have ambitions at some point to be a university president. And so I was manifesting that thing. Like that was what January 1st, 2024, that year was going to be my year. I was going to be a president. And so January 21st, I wrapped up the challenge. I was feeling good. And a few days later, I'm like, something's missing here. Something being my cycle. And so what's funny is I had gone to a sorority event and I was standing in line with my line sister and another of our sorority sisters. And I was like, y'all, I have not had my cycle yet. So they were like, girl, wouldn't that be awful? And I'm like, yeah, yes. I can't even imagine.
In fact, sorority events would usually make you be on your cycle.
Well, yeah, because we linked up. But anyway, so maybe a few days later, and we just laughed about it and moved on. And then a few days later, I was like,
I don't know why you were laughing.
I shouldn't have been laughing. God was laughing. That's who was laughing.
Set up.
So a few days later, I was like, all right, and I went and stopped and got a test on my way to pick up the boys. And then I got home and it was I think I was 2 days past when, my period should have come. And then, but I could not wait to take, because you're supposed to take it about 5 days after. So this is day 2, and I was like, let me just grab them. So then I'll wait till day 5 and then take it. And so then I put the boys to bed, and I just couldn't help myself. So I took the test, and before, usually they say you're supposed to put the thing down and wait 5 minutes and then come back. And before,
no discipline.
Before the 5 minutes was up, the test had just already lit up.
You were pregnant.
And so I called my husband in there and I was like, look at this. And I thought I was going to lose him. Like, he just was sitting on the side of the tub. Like, he had his hands in his face. Like, and I just kept saying, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. So anyway, I spent the next several months just in a state of denial, honestly. I mean, I knew that it was going to happen. I knew that it was happening. I obviously took medical care of myself. I had a midwife because we had we were planning our second home birth. And so, but here's the thing that I want to kind of have pinpoint is that I've always been a planner. You know, I told my mom and dad when I was 3 years old that when I was 5 years old, I was going to get baptized. Like, you know, and then I had these milestones, like when I'm 21, I'm going to do this. And when I'm 25, by 30, you know. And so I don't do well when God interrupts my plans. Okay. Like, this is like the biggest struggle between me and God over my lifetime, is just really learning to allow him to lead my life. And so it is just so funny that this was the disruption, like this was the interruption. And so remember, like at the top of that year, I was like, I'm going to be a president. So I was like, you know, number one, I didn't really share with a lot of people that we were having a baby because of that pursuit. And I will say also that I have experienced firsthand the stigma that comes with being a mother and a leader at the same time. Like, we have been in situations where my husband was asked whether I was ready for a certain job because I was a mom.
Who asked that?
I can't tell you. I can tell you off this screen, but I can't tell you right now.
I'm writing that down. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And so having had that experience, I was like, well, I cannot share that I'm going through this. And so for the better part of 2024, like, you didn't see me outside. You know, like once I started showing, I was in the house. I was even a finalist. I was a final. Did I tell you this? I was a finalist for a university in June of that year.
Yeah. Keep in mind, even when I knew you were pregnant, I never thought that you wouldn't be a university president in 2024. Like, that's one thing about you. You were organized, but you have an ability to get people's buy-in. Like, it never crossed my mind. And when you didn't, I quickly moved on to, because that's too, like, there's something even greater. Or so I never thought that you weren't going to be a university president.
Yeah, well, it to me, it was like a friend of mine, a dear colleague, and we were talking about this during the time, and she's like, you just have to be honest about where you are right now, and that maybe make room for God saying, maybe this is not the time. You know, you still need to wait. There's still something that I need to develop in you. And so, like I said, I really wrestled. And then it really came to a point where in June, I turned 40. And that's the other thing. I just knew I was going to be outside for 40. Like, I was going to be... Your girl was going to be outside. I was going to plan this big party.
Now, you did plan the big party.
Well, it was a different party than what I thought I was going to have, but it was perfect. But anyway, we'll get into that. But I was going to go to Africa. Didn't do that. It just really just like changed every plan I had that year. It just changed everything. But again, when I got to 40, I just realized, like, God has got this. Like, God has got whatever worries you have, whatever plans you have. It was really the last ditch thing that he required of me to just like let go, surrender, like trust me with your life. And once I did that, it was just like the pregnancy was just the most beautiful experience. Even though we still didn't tell a lot of people, we had like the very smallest like sprinkle, like not a shower. We had like a very tiny sprinkle thrown by my line sister and her husband. And it was just it was such a beautiful experience.
You know, I'm glad that was beautiful, because what wasn't beautiful was you need to be ready when you tell people. When you called to tell me that you were pregnant, I mean, you know, I didn't know what you're going to call, but there was no excitement in your voice like, hey, hey, hey. It was like, girl. I'm about to have another baby. I'm like, so, you know, the other thing, when you need to be ready to share, because I'm like, wait a minute. I thought for a minute, I was like, you know what? I'm about to have a baby because Dannelle does not want this baby. I'm about to have me a baby.
And see, that's the part that was hard, because I was like, was a huge part of me that was very excited, but I just had so many like what ifs and how are we going to's and what does this mean for us, and so it was just a lot weighing on me.
No. And
you know, then I'm over 40, I'm 40, you know, so there's the safety of being a Black woman having a baby. It's like it's so many things. And again, you just have to get to a point where you just trust God. And so one of my friends was also having her surprise baby at the same time. Mm-hmm. I think you remember her. She was at my birthday sleepover. Mm-hmm. And we didn't find out, like when she opened the door, I was like, because a lot of people that came to my birthday sleepover in June did not know that I was pregnant.
Oh, they didn't know you were pregnant.
No. So like I'm telling you, like we just really didn't tell many people at all. And so I opened the door, because at this point I'm definitely showing, and I'm like, surprise, I'm pregnant. She's like, surprise, me too.
I guess she wasn't sharing either, huh?
So we both shared the experience of having like this. We weren't planning this moment.
Was that their third also?
Yes.
I thought
their third too. And so at her baby shower, one of her pastors or friends who is a pastor prayed, and he said the scripture about children are a reward from the Lord, and a gift from the Lord, and a reward for those. And I was just like really convicted in that moment of like, gosh, I've been walking around with this attitude, and God is trying to reward me.
Come get this.
Yes.
Right.
And so that was just like the complete shift. And then since then, like we had an amazing birth, and God really did reward us, because Ronan is the sweetest baby.
I've never seen a baby that doesn't cry.
Hello.
I will tell you the other thing that I think gave you some anxiety about this baby was knowing that you're going to have all that water in your house and this having the birth in your house. I mean, who's going to clean that up? And like, that's where my brain goes. You go with order and organization. I'm thinking like, the whole time I'm having that baby, I'll be like, water on the floor.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, if you ever have a baby, Tamara, you need to have a home birth. And we can have a whole episode about how amazing and empowering it is. And I would do it again. In fact, we are trolling people, because people are like, so y'all are doing right. I'm like, maybe,
well,
maybe
once you
not.
had 3, what's 6?
Now wait a minute. That's going far, but
you got
what's
the
4?
stuff.
I kind of believe like what's 4.
By then you got babysitters. I mean, once you've gotten to 3, people who have 3, it's almost like people just expect another baby every year. Like, I never know what the phone call is going to hold.
That's she's like, are you pregnant?
Right. It's like,
hello, are you pregnant?
Is Dannelle having cocktails today? I'm looking. So
yeah, but like I said, it's just and whatever dreams I have, whatever dreams of my career and everything, it's not on hold. Like, I'm still pursuing the things that I believe God has told me to do, hence doing this podcast, hence deciding to go back to school, you know, so it doesn't really stop anything. It just, the biggest thing that it showed me was that God has this. And, you know, even as a small child, I thought I would either have 2 or 4 children. And so when the older I got, I was like, well, it's probably just going to be 2. And so it also showed me, like, don't limit what you can have.
That's why I said 6, and you said whoa. I mean, you know, I totally agree. So I guess summing that up, like, what is it that you want to leave our viewers with?
Make room for God's surprises. Make room for God to surprise you with his biggest reward, even if it doesn't look like the reward you thought you were going to get. Because for me, I thought the reward was going to be President Whiteside in 2024, and that totally was not it. It was Mommy Whiteside with another precious little baby. And when I think about my future, I think about, like, I have this vision in my mind of 3 big men walking behind me, you know, of like, you know, this my mama. That's my mama, y'all. You know, like that's, you know, and that is such a reward, such a blessing. So
you definitely, well, you're going to have to make that 4.
We'll have to, but we'll see.
Well, I'm saying because of Andre, you already have 3.
Oh, well, yeah. But
I mean, these kids are like one of her kids is already, he's like 5. How old is he?
He's 6.
6, and he's already 5'9".
He's wearing a size 10, 12 clothes though. So he is already a giant.
Yeah.
And then Ronan is the biggest baby. He was 9 pounds 7 ounces. And he already is thick and chunky and juicy and the cutest thing. So I know he's gonna be even taller. Like, so I'm just gonna have a huge grocery bill, a huge shoe budget, and I'm gonna be the shortest one in the house. But that's okay, because as my mom used to say, I'm gonna carry the biggest stick. So
that's true. But you're a tall short at 5'9".
I am. But
I think you're all right.
Yep. So that's my story.
It's definitely a story. So what else we got?
Well, let's move on to our favorite segment, Against My Better Judgment, and we're going to talk about something that Tamara has been doing lately that I never thought she would do, which is get on social media.
Give me a pat on the back. Thanks.
Good job.
I will tell you. So, against my better judgment, I didn't get on social media sooner.
I didn't think you would say that. I was thinking you were going to say, against my better judgment, I got on social media.
Well, it had to happen because of the time, and the time is right. Now, the reason why I say I didn't get on it sooner is probably going to line up with your thoughts. The reason I wish I would have gotten on it sooner is because now I have an urgency to get on it. You know, I need people to know about this podcast. I need people to know about the new business that I just started, Alliance Mediation. So the reason that I wish I would have got on it sooner is because I'm learning things that I really should have known 3 years ago. And learning it with urgency is so frustrating, and it's so time consuming. So I am now on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, X, and Facebook. And I'm trying to, and I think this is possible, I want them all to talk to each other so that when I do something on one, everybody, with the exception, I think, of Snapchat, will get the message.
Yeah.
And
it's gonna, I mean, we talked about this. I'm gonna have to give her a tutorial because I'm not an expert by any means, but I do pretty well.
Okay.
So you can't, all of them can't talk, like, but they can share. It might be an extra step or two, but you're gonna be okay.
Okay. So against my better judgment, I've gotten onto social media, and in true form, I have gotten on social media, and I've gotten on all of it at once.
Yeah,
I probably should have gotten on maybe Instagram and TikTok first, but anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips on social media management. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Number 1, pick your favorite 2 apps. Okay.
How did I know which one's my favorite?
You got to play with them.
Okay.
And then pick your favorite 2, and then just put your energy in those, because I find myself, I can't really manage more than about 2 at a time, because then it just gets to be too much. And then I'm going to say, only follow what you want in your feed.
Okay.
Because you're going to be bombarded with just a whole lot of messages and things like that. So don't be following a whole bunch of things that you don't want to see, because you only want, you don't want to have a whole bunch of junk in there.
Okay, I may have to unfollow some stuff already.
Yeah, because you'll start to see.
Okay.
And then I'll say, some people say read the comments. Some people say don't read the comments. So like if you post something.
Okay. The money's in the comments.
Well, I guess it is like engagement, especially if you're trying to build up, your platform. But reading the comments, people, And it may not even be comments in your post, but like if you go to another post, reading the comments can sometimes just take you down the rabbit hole to hell. I mean, people say anything and everything. So you just want to limit that. And then the nuts and bolts, the technicalities, we'll work on that. But I think you got this. I mean, it is a lot to open up 5 accounts at one time. Do not recommend. But you got this.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
What's your goal? What's your goal for being on social media?
My goal is for people to get to know me. I want people to get to know me, and I want to get to know them. So I think it's an opportunity for people to get to know me that don't, and get some encouragement, get a few nuggets, and then in turn, they may pour into me some things that I would have never known or never experienced. So I think what I found is getting to know people and allowing people to get to know you, all the other benefits that you really want, they'll come organically.
That's true. That's true. What was life like not on social media? Like, I always find I have a couple friends that are not on social media, but they still be knowing like the pop stuff and what's happening. So how did you get your information?
You? It's amazing the stuff that people know that don't matter. Like I know a little bit about a lot, and it's usually enough to get the conversation going, and it puts you in a really good position to really innocently ask questions and find stuff out, because you really don't know that backstory and you really don't know what people, you don't know them. So you can really ask the questions, pull stuff out. The other thing, by not being in social media, you weren't obligated to know. Like,
that's true.
If something happened in someone's life that, albeit good or bad or whatever it may be, you weren't obligated to have an opinion about it. And I think sometimes we can get in trouble thinking that our opinion about everything matters or is relevant for that time. So it was safe. It was really safe, because people tell me stuff. I was like, well, I didn't know. It's a world that I took pride at not being in. I enjoyed, like, when it came to text messaging, it took me like 4 years to send the first text. I refused to do it. iPhone, it took forever for people to see me not show up green.
Yeah. She trying to be funny, because we always knew that Tamara had an Android. I mean, I'm an iPhone user, and I'm a loyalist. And so it wasn't until this year that I discovered that I was like, look at her. She got a blue box like me. So, but she claims that she's had the phone since 2020. I've had that phone
since 2020. And the reason I know I've had the phone since 2020 is because my old faithful Android, Samsung, it was a Samsung, whatever, it broke. And I was just defeated, because I knew that I was going to have to spend $1,100 on a new phone.
Now, that'll defeat you right there.
So I was like, oh, here we go. And I knew I was going to have to be at Verizon 4 hours. Like,
I feel like buying a phone is like buying a car.
It's work.
You in there all day.
Yeah. So I was defeated, but I went in and I was like, this lady, I was like, yeah, I'm here. My Samsung broke. And I'm one of those, like, I just want the same phone, whatever the newest version is, because I knew how to operate it. I loved it. I just wanted the same phone. It could be an 18, whatever the new version was. She's like, She gets on her computer. She's like, oh, boy, do we have something for you today. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, today we are giving away free iPhones. I mean, I was like, come again? She's like, free iPhones. So now if you want us spend $1,100 on your Samsung, that's fine. But you can get a free iPhone today. So, because I had a MacBook, so I knew Apple products. So I was like, I'm a very calculated person. So I was like, man. So I felt rich when I left Verizon. I was like, I got $1,100 still in my pocket. So that was my very first iPhone. It was like an iPhone 8, maybe.
It was 10, more than that.
10?
It was maybe 10.
10. Yeah. So it was that. And lo and behold, I thought this was going to be my last iPhone. I'm like, yeah, but when this is up, I was like, I'm one of those people, whatever's free the day I need my new phone is what I'm gonna roll with. So, but I've had a good relationship.
Yeah, I mean, she's the type of person that I was amazed when she started texting, because she's just not one for texting. We have similarities, but we also have very distinct differences. I'm an early adopter of technology. I always have been. Like when I was in the 4th grade, I was on like C-SPAN because my teacher was like a computer expert. And so they were just integrating computers in the classroom. And so they had C-SPAN came to the class, and I was like one of the ones she chose to like start. So from a very early age, I'm like, give me the new technology. Like I want to learn it.
Well, I'll take it, but keep in mind, like I said, really, here's my real theory. And this is probably against my better judgment to share this, but I'm going to. So I've always had a MacBook, and then I usually have a PC. My thoughts with the phones were, if something were to I just read The President is Missing by Bill Clinton and James Patterson, I think. And it's about technology in the world ending. So my thought really was that if someone wants to attack the United States, they're going to go with everybody. Most people have iPhones and Apples and Android. So my thought was, if it's China, baby, I got this Samsung. So
that also was made in China.
I know, but China, that's their brand. Like Samsung they're not going to mess up a Samsung. iPhone, Apple, that was created by Jobs. That's totally different. So my thought was, when everybody's trying to get some sale, trying to figure out how to call somebody, I'm going to save the day because I'm going to have a Samsung. So really, my thought about it really wasn't, because I'm good with technology. Like, as you see, I'm really good with technology. I'm not good with coming over to the other side when I think it interrupts true, real communication. Okay. I've always thought that texting was just different when I grew up in the era of talking on the phone and hearing someone's voice. Same thing with social media. I'm willing to admit that you can keep connected more on social media because just of sheer distance. But
I agree with you, because I think social media tends to kind of replace connectivity in a way, because there's some people who I'm only connected with via social media, and I don't really mind that. And it doesn't encourage me to reach out to them and find out like what's deeper in their lives. Because I'm like, I saw them on Instagram, they're fine. So it sometimes does. It's
interesting you said I saw them on Instagram.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you didn't.
Exactly.
But there's one thing I learned over COVID is when as most people know, I worked in the insurance world for a long time. And when it came time to bring people back into the office after COVID, our company did it, I think, with empathy and with strategy, et cetera, et cetera. But one thing we heard when we were doing these focus groups is one lady, coming to the office was never in her wheelhouse because, as she said, all of her encounters, all of her engagements, all of her interactions are on a computer screen. And that's how she lives her life. She has friends that she's never met in person. Never. She met them over COVID, and she's never met them in person. And,
that sounds like how you get catfish.
Well, maybe. But I just found that story, it was just so interesting to me. And even more so made me not want to get on social media. So, there you have it.
Well, I think we're at the end of this conversation, and we're going to wrap it up by saying, well, what's your takeaway from this conversation?
Oh my gosh, a lot. First off, don't be narrow-minded on what your surprises are and what they can really bring. I pull that out of your story about the surprise baby. The other thing I pulled out of your story that was kind of woven into the surprise baby is that things like when you hear not right now doesn't mean not ever. Or it could, and that's fine too. But sometimes the things that we think are for us we have no idea. That might be limiting in and of itself. And I'm not saying discourage like, oh no, you'll never be able to do this. That's not true. But be open to something. Heck, you might totally jump over that to something else. So I think that's something that I didn't think about. And then I also say on this thing with social media, be open to different. And I think just that word, adaptability, and also, just be patient. So
yeah, I'll say again, be open to how God is going to surprise you, because the ways that we think the surprises are coming can be totally different. And all the time, the plans that he has for you are way better than the ones you have for yourself. That's just been my experience, and I think yours too.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, check on your friends who aren't on social media because we cannot use technology to take the place of genuine connection.
Yeah.
And, even if your friends are on social media and you spend all day, every day sending memes back and forth, that does not take the place of saying, how are you for real, girl? Let's check in. So anyway,
thanks for hanging out with us for this episode. We look forward to seeing you next week for another episode, for hopefully some good nuggets, a few lot laughs, and certainly a lot of insight.
Yep. Stay connected with us on Instagram at Against My Better Judgment Pod. Tamara now on Instagram is Tea with Tamara, and I'm Dannelle Whiteside on there, and we're both on Facebook. Our podcast page on Facebook is Against My Better Judgment Pod. And then if you have your own That Time When story, feel free to send us an email at againstmybetterjudgmentpod@gmail.com.
We're so glad you're here. Thanks.
See you next time.